Hello everybody. This video is for those of you who are teaching an APS on ground. I know maybe a little bit different for those of you who have taught in the past with our former LMS. Just want to show you the different things if you have not been able to get in to mess around with it. So the first thing that you'll see once you log into Advanced 360, which is the new LMS, is this front page. You'll see San Diego Christian at the top with Bookstore, Empower Web, Gear Store, Library, and so on and so forth over there at the top. This is your personal page once you log in with your credentials. You'll see new messages right here. You want to click on that, and that's from a professor. It could be from a student. You want to be able to check that and see that information there and be able to email that student back or that professor back as soon as possible. So always be checking this portal. I will be doing it every day, maybe even possibly a couple times a day. So you just save it as a favorite, the login. Save it as a favorite at the top of your browser. I would recommend that you use Chrome or Internet Explorer for this. In this case, we're using Mozilla Firefox. That will also work, but the best, I believe, is Chrome and Internet Explorer to be able to use and can connect with your students and do everything in these cases. So after you have checked this front page, basically the way that you would get into class is click on Courses. You will see in this specific case the course that we're going to look at is Biblical Perspectives. You log into the class. You will see the book off to the right with the description of the class on the left of that, the syllabus down below, and course policies. The syllabus does not include the assignments for each of the weeks. Those are included in the lessons. I will show you here in a second. But the syllabus includes a PDF version of the course objectives, the description of the class, and also the list of textbooks or textbook, depending on how many textbooks are in that class. So you'll see that here. You'll also see the students that are in your class here below. And what you're going to want to do as you get into your class, actually into that front page, is build your profile. You'll be able to see. Let's actually go back to the home page before we come into the classroom itself. You're going to want to click on My Profile, edit your photo, upload your photo in here. Upload a little short bio about yourself. That's really all you need to worry about for right now. That'll help students be able to see what you're all about, see your picture, put a face to a name. So let's go back into courses here, back to Biblical Perspectives. What the student sees is a little bit different than what you as a professor sees. So you're going to need to understand that you'll see these things off to the left within your classroom, but they will only see home and lessons. So you see lessons here at the bottom. They'll see just these two tabs. That's where they're going to get their information about what their assignments are each week. So just going to give you an idea of what they'll be doing each of the weeks. You have in every single class you'll be teaching in APS a tab called Resources before week 1 in the Lessons tab. They will have a prayer and praise corner, which means it basically gives them a chance to pray for one another and give prayer requests. But this is a student-driven forum, so you do not have to grade this. You don't have to look at this all the time. But if you want to look and be praying for your students, of course, you can be looking at this. They'll just open the discussion, be able to get in there and type whatever prayer request or praise that they have there. Also have online etiquette. There is a open file basically they can download to see what they should and should not do as far as when they have discussions online or they're talking to each other via email, just some normal netiquette type of things. APA format, every single paper that is due in San Diego Christian College and every program within our APS program is going to be turned in through an APA format. What we have done here is provided for the student an APA template which they can download, save on their desktop, and to be able to use for all their assignments in the program that's going to be turned in as a Microsoft Word document. So they would save it as just the APA template to the desktop, and every single time they would do a new assignment, they would save as and whatever the name of the assignment is, so that the APA template stays the same, and they just type over it all and use that as their template. And that you should be accepting papers in that format, be encouraging them to do that. And of course, as you go throughout the weeks, if they're not, you need to be marking down for them not following the template rules as far as APA is concerned. Also, APA references. There are videos within this within this area, within the resources. In this particular case, the browser does not show the videos because there's a security setting. I kind of wanted to show you this because this is maybe what happens to some of the students. If they're under Explorer or Chrome, you will be able to see the videos here, or you'll be able to click a button that says accept all content. Or something like that, depending on which browser it is. So they'll see videos about APA references and about in-text citation. There is a section on avoiding plagiarism where they can click on this link and go to see exactly what the plagiarism, what it actually is and what it isn't. That'll help them because every single paper will be going through Turnitin plagiarism software, originality software, and GradeMark software. So, and I'll show you how to do that as we get into the drop boxes. They also have citing the Bible in APA format. I know that a lot of these classes will include Bible because we are, of course, a Christian school that tries to integrate this into all of the subjects. And we sometimes you have different viewpoints of how to quote things within the papers, but we just agreed upon one way of citing the Bible in APA format, so make it easy. Also, keyboard shortcuts. There'll be a video here that shows them how to do copy and paste, which of course will help them. If you want to review these things very quickly at the beginning of your class in APS on Ground, it'd be very helpful for the student if they have not already. Additionally, they'll need to know if they're ordering books, they can go to the MBS bookstore. They can do Amazon, they can do anything they want, but also the bookstore is available. Whenever they need to get to Empower Web, just remind them they can get to it through there. If they want to get the grades, official grades, transcript, financial aid, paperwork, things like that. The gear store here at the top is somewhere they can buy t-shirts and hats from San Diego Christian, and the library for them to be able to do research on some of their projects or papers. They can click through there and log in as well. So let's go back to lessons. After the resources section, you'll see week 1. All of the weeks are lined up where we put reading assignments first, and then down below that you'll have, in this specific case, you have an attachment that they are going to be using as they study the Bible. So they're going to be downloading that and printing it, putting it in their Bible. How we got the Bible, there's an open file that's also a part of the reading for that specific week. So how we got the Bible is part of the reading in addition to the Living by the Book section that they have to do for reading. And that's for this specific class of BI 391. But of course, this will apply differently to the different classes and different textbooks. You have an assignment A. Most of the time we have 1 or 2 assignments in APS on Ground, and then you have all your discussions and your participation, everything within the class. Assignment A is very, very specific. You need to follow these directions exactly and use the workbook that they have to be able to do that. To turn in the assignment, they're going to be writing an APA, using an APA template, writing it according to the instructions, saving it to wherever they need to save it to. Desktop is the easiest, and using this Dropbox to be able to drop their assignment in. So they'll click on this. They will see a Dropbox option. They make sure it's the right one. They browse for it, find it, submit it, then their paper is submitted. Once that's submitted, of course, you can submit that for the originality report and be able to use Turnitin to do grade comments and everything like that. I'll show you that here in a second. So after a student has done that for assignments and has turned in their assignments, they also have a few other things depending on what class they're in. But they have assignments and sometimes quizzes. In this specific case, there's no quiz, but there is a heads up for a final project. If there is a large paper or large project at the end of the 5-week class, we have always put that here to remind them that they need to start working on it early rather than trying to catch up and forgetting about it and not knowing about it. This information that's in these lessons takes the place of a syllabus that would give you directions on assignments. The reason that we do this just within the lessons is because we don't want to accidentally have a syllabus that says one thing and have lessons that say another thing and have it contradict one another. So the students will always know to be able to go to this section to get their assignments. If they need to for some reason and want this in writing, they could copy and paste it into a Word document each week, be able to see that in front of them. But it's always better to encourage them to get in consistently into Advanced 360, even though I know this is an on-ground class, but to be able to get into this so they can be praying for one another and always be in this portal so they can see if you put an announcement up or if something's changed or a room. You don't have to do an email. You can email from within the system. In all APS on ground classes, you'll see participation. It's also in the grade book. If a student is not there, they cannot get participation points. Whatever the excuse is, if it's valid or not, they can't get participation points. So be looking in your grade book and grade accordingly. If they don't do anything in the class but come super late, you just judge accordingly to what they deserve as far as participation. And be fair in that, and make sure you score that every single week so they can be updated on their grades and participation. This is where your activities and discussions and everything you're doing inside the class, you can give a point value for that. But all the papers are not due until Sunday night at 11:59. That's after your class. So your first week is a Tuesday or Thursday class, but the assignment itself is not due until the paper that needs to be turned in is not due until Sunday night at 11:59. So the first week, as you come into the class, there's instructions here for the reading that they need to read all of the reading, or as much as they can, before the class session, so you can discuss that particular reading in the class and do your discussions and do everything you're going to do on that specific reading. You would also remind the student this is what your paper is, remind them of what is due, and then as the weeks go on, you can kind of look back, talk a little bit about it in the next class. This is how this paper was overall, generally, with the class. But you want to do specific comments and feedback with students individually as opposed to the whole group. But just use this every single week. Things are due on Sunday night at 11:59. Even though they can have been finished by the time they get to class, but they do not have to be. Except the work through digital form is a way better way to do it than to have them printed out and come in. It's going to save them ink. But also is going to give you a better way to give them feedback through the Turn-It-In system. So this is every week. They'll have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 in the lessons. I'm going to go ahead and log in as a student into this specific class so you can see exactly what a student would see rather than what you as a professor sees. So you can kind of show them and give them an idea of what they're looking at in the class. As a student would get in, log in, they would see the same home page as you, but when they click on courses, of course, they're only going to see the course that they are enrolled into. They have taken the one they're currently in or just finished up was the one before. The one they're going to be in now is session 2 in this specific case. See, as I told you before, they only see home and lessons, the same thing that you saw here, but a lot less things over to the left, so it'll be a lot less confusing to them. The way they're going to look at grades after you grade them, as far as putting it into the gradebook, is they're going to click on grades and see what you'll not be able to see now because the class is not live, but they'll see every class that they're in and where they were in. They'll see the grades for that there. The official grades are only posted in Empower, so they need to look at this while they're in the class, but when it posts, the official grade is put into Empower Web and needs to be done by you as the professor at the end of each class. If you need instructions on how to do that, please contact the APS office. Let's look at lessons. They will see a progress bar here. So let's go back into week 1 like we were before. The student would mark this complete. Let's say I got my reading done, click that box. That's going to increase that bar to go over. Mark all these complete that you read these. Mark the complete that you finished the assignment. This just helps the student know exactly what they're finished with so they know what to do for each week. It's a lot better than just a syllabus and a pencil going and marking off what needs to be done. So you can encourage students with this as they look through their Advanced 360 portal and see this in their specific class. Exactly what a professor sees, but you have a lot more stuff within a professor portal that would not be seen by the student. I want to show you in my class. This is an online version of this class. It'll be the same for your drop boxes where your students will be turning in their papers by that 11:59 time on Sunday night or before. You'll come in as a faculty member and you will, depending when you first log in, you'll see Dropbox. Let's actually go to the home so you'll see that. You'll see the Dropbox items waiting. If there is any there, you want to click on that. This is just waiting for a grade because I'm going to be grading these tonight. So let's look. Let's just click on one of these. This is one way you can get to it. So I will not click like this, but you can go straight in here and go straight to the assignment. But you can also go from within the course. So let's just go to the course, be able to look at the drop boxes, Click on the word Dropbox here in this little icon. You will see in the Dropboxes in the weeks how many things have been turned in. I've already graded these, so that's what those are in there for. Let's go ahead and click on week 3A. You'll see an assignment and descriptions and different students and things in here. You will see that they have turned it in here and have given me a little message, and you know that it's out of 35 points. What I have done is I have come in here and I have clicked check originality for all submitted items. When the the students had turned their things in, after a certain amount of time I come in and I click check originality for all submitted items. I do that before I grade each of the students' papers, and that takes a little while for to be able to run those reports. So sometimes just come in here, log in, see if there's a bunch of things in the Dropbox, check originality for all submitted items. Make sure that the students turn it in as a Word document, meaning a .doc or .docx, or they may have a problem being able to turn it in, and it may give you an error. So that might be one of the issues. Just remind them to do it only in that format. So you'll scroll down. After you did the report, you can just come back in later, and you will see something that says 41% match or something like that. Don't always go by the percentage necessarily. Be looking at what is actually the same. In this specific case, the questions are always the same in this class, so they're going to be copying the questions. That's fine. And some of the headings and some of the names and things are going to be the same. So that, in this case, is what was copied. It's not plagiarism. It's just exactly what the specific assignment asked for the student to do. You clicked on 41%, and it comes up to this specific report. So as a professor, it's going to show a certain thing, and as a student, it's going to show a certain thing. So as a professor, you'll come in here. It will have already run the turned it in report. So you see all the different things highlighted for the different areas. It shows exactly where they're pulled from. In this specific case, of course, week 3, assignment 1, San Diego Christian College, those words are not plagiarized, as well as the heading and the footer. You can see the only things that are really copied are the questions, so you know it's not plagiarized. So that's what you're going to want to check out first. Assure your students that you're checking for that, and not just because you have a certain percentage doesn't mean it's plagiarized. You'll talk them through that. Then you'll click on grade mark. Grade mark, it's set up to be able to correct grammar and be able to put information on there like missing conjunction or period or any punctuation or run-on or use of comma, anything. So it can be any number of things. That'll just help you be able to grade the grammar without you doing much work. So you'll come in here and you'll see that information in here. You can also do your own if you want to put your own comments, or use these comments and to bring them over to it. In this specific case, you will see different errors that it's already run the report on. If you believe that it's not an error, if it's like say it's a question, the question that they're just typing or copying in as the question, of course that's not a mistake. So just make sure, go through and delete. Like in this specific case, you can go, I want to dismiss this because that's part of the question, and we want the content because it's a title. Point of view, you just check into each individual thing, see if things are missing, see if there's a missing comma. Just double check these. Even though they run the report, they may be incorrect depending on what they're checking. So you see that there. To be able to make comments, click on this little window next to where it says QM. And if you want to put a voice comment, you can record a little short, up to 3-minute voice comment, but you don't have to. You just click in here, type whatever you want as far as the commentary. The student will be able to access the report as they come into the report. They're just going to see the whole report, including plagiarism and the grammar check, in one report. So they're going to see that, and they're going to see the grade you give them here at the top. So this is worth 35 points. You grade it accordingly. See how many grammar problems that they have, if they answer the questions the way you did. Of course, at the beginning of your class, be a little bit lighter in grading than toward the end as they're responding to your feedback. Make sure you give them good feedback in there, including the Turnitin originality report and the grammar check. So that'll already do that. Just make sure you proofread it yourself to make sure that everything's right. Put 35 points here or whatever points you're going to put, and you can either go on to the next paper, which is the next one turned in this specific class, or you can close that down and it will be saved for the student be able to see. Once the due date has passed, the student can go in and are able to see your grade that you gave them for the specific paper, and then also see the comments that you made. But you will also have to transfer this number that you put here from here and back into the grade book as well. So I'll show you how to do that. Eventually they will automatically come back. We'll also have rubrics that you can use to grade, and then that grade will come automatically back into Advance later on. So, but now you're going to put it here and in the grade book. So let's go back to the grade book itself. You're going to want to put the points that you had in the top of the report here. As soon as you put that in there and click off of it, it will say grade saved. Do not put comments here as well. You just want to put them in one place and tell the students to access them in one way. The student will come in, look in their drop boxes in their lessons. That's the way they're going to see that you submitted feedback for them to read. They're going to come in and see basically something right down in here. It's not going to be on the right-hand side, but it'll be over here, very similar with a similar icon that will say check feedback or that you got from the professor. They click on that, they'll see that same report that you put the comments in there. So that's how you'll be doing your grading. Just do it as fairly as possible and to use your discernment to be able to grade those. You do need to accept work a week late, but you can. You are not required to, but you can mark it 20% down because it is past the due date. That's anything past that 11:59 time that it's due on that Sunday night. But anything past that, it's between you and the student. Try to accept late work if you can, but of course it's going to be a burden on you, and if they haven't turned anything in and they just pile it on you, grade accordingly. You do not have to accept late work past that 1 week late. But it's just up to you and the student. Whatever's best for the student is what's best for you. So I try to help them as much as possible, but do accept late work according to policy. I think that's basically it. The overview of the class as far as grading is concerned. If you need to put additional grades, this grade, when you put it into this box, will go into the grade book. Let's say if it's participation. That's the other thing that's graded in this class, as far as in addition to the final project and everything. So you want to go to where it says grade book. You can enter it this way. There's several ways to do it. This is probably the easiest way for you to be able to enter grades for participation. So you just open the full grade book. You'll see to here, turn editing on. Once you turn editing on, you're going to look at these different things here. Okay, I'm going to put this grade in each individual student depending on assignment. Put that information in there and then just submit grades, and then that'll save the grades in there. So in this case, it's an online class, so it doesn't have participation, but you'll see participation in there for the APS on ground. If you have any questions specific to your class, make sure to contact us here in the APS office. We'd love to help you out. We know this is a new system. We believe this is going to make it a lot easier on you as a professor, but also give a lot better feedback, a lot more interactivity with the students. Even though you have face-to-face students, you also can contact them and be in conversation with them throughout the week. So point your students to Advance, review it with them if you can in the first night of class, just to be able to show them what they're going to be able to see. It's going to be a lot easier. You're not going to have any grades in there. Make sure you don't show any personal information as you can. Go in there and just show them this is where you're going to turn in the papers, do a brief explanation, and then of course discuss your reading. Do those things in class that are supplementing the assignments. They're talking about the assignments. They're going to feed into that information that are in the assignments. And feed off the reading. That's the best way to what to do within the class. If you want to do quizzes in the class, if your specific class has a quiz, you can use the quizzes that are in Advance. Just have them use that as an open note, open book. Anything that's online is going to be an open book quiz. You can do practice quiz and stuff inside of the classroom, like on a piece of paper, and review, and then just have them go back home and take that quiz and be able to get as many points as you can. Just remember that the object is learning for these students, and if you were to review it in the class and then have them take it, they're going to be learning in a way that they're going to remember, because they're going to remember that conversation and go back and be able to put those answers in the quiz and get a good grade on that. We're trying to help them do the best as possible. So Of course, if you have any questions, give us a call.